Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Tuesday, March 22nd. Over the last couple of days, we've had a really big bounce in large cap stocks. And like I said yesterday in the chat room, it was only a matter of time before we started to see the speculative money start to come back into stocks. And we saw that in a big way today. First off, we started seeing biotech stocks take off left and right. And that was the hot sector this morning. And then later in the day, we had the energy stocks just explode to the upside. And when we see biotech stocks and energy stocks get the kind of action that we saw today, very, very good sign for us, at least for the near term. Speculative money is finally back in this market. Traders have grown some balls and are ready to make some money again after taking a few days off. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you can see we've had a nice almost 500-point move on the Dow over the last couple of days. And I don't even want to say it because it's been a jinx for the last two times. We got another golden cross on the Dow about an hour before the close, and since the cross we've been pretty flatline. Hard to say, given the kind of rally we've had, that we're going to see another 150-point up move. But rare is it that we have so many failures on a golden cross on the Dow 15-minute chart. So let's see what happens here tomorrow. The indicators on the 15-minute chart look really good. RSI at 50, positive MACD cross going to happen on the open tomorrow, and stochastics up through 50. So, the chart is supportive of a move higher, and we still have a lot of bears who got in last week still saying that this is a dead cat bounce, and I've been shorting over the last couple of days, and those guys are going to be our fuel for any further upside moves. Looking at the daily chart, you can see we made it right back up to that downtrend resistance line. 12,100 is probably where they throw in the towel. SMH continues its nice slow bounce, so looking good here, but the focus is on where the money is coming right now. And check out the oil chart. Like I said, it was only a matter of time before the nuclear crisis in Japan. The traders just got tired of dealing with it. Dominated the headlines all last week. Japan has not sunk into the sea, and so traders have moved on. Focus is back on Libya again because if the focus is on Libya, they can jam the commodity prices up, which is what they did today. Oil on the move late in the day. We're getting very close to another breakout in oil. In the last 90 minutes of the day, we just saw the small cap oil and energy plays just go boom, and that is likely going to be the theme going into tomorrow, just based on what oil is doing. But anyway, let's go over some charts here and some of the stocks that haven't worked out for us really over the last couple of days. GSAT. Now I know some of you guys, this ended up being a monster winner. I kept our stops too tight on this one. We got stopped out at $1.05. The next day the stock runs 40%. It is what it is. I know some of you guys held it perfect, but this was one of those plays that worked out, but I really can't take credit for it simply because it triggered the stops I said. If I'd been paying attention, we probably should have rebought that on a 110 break, but that's how it is. MVIS was a trade we tried yesterday. Looked really good. We ended up getting stopped out of it. Trade did not work. This is going to happen when you're trying to time bounces after a market tank. A lot of times you're going to be early. Doesn't mean we can't rebuy this stock. Now, MVIS, if and when this stock breaks through $1.36 again, I would definitely be looking to get back into this one. But there are going to be some fits and starts. We're going to have some plays where we're going to take a loss so that we can get into the next play that runs 10, 20, 30% for us. And we saw a lot of that in the chat room today. Quick mention, of course, on BNX. Someone just threw in the towel. Throughout that market tank last week, stock held up pretty well. Last 2 days, someone just got tired of holding this stock and they dumped it hard. They actually printed 21 cents on this one intraday. This was a stock, we played it for the event. If I was to grade myself on how I had us play this trade, I'd give myself a D. Should have had a stop out before, yes, but we had a plan on this one to hold into tax season. Hasn't worked out so far. Will it bounce? Yes, I believe so. And probably what will bounce it is the earnings report next week. I believe it's on the 30th. In retrospect, lesson learned from this whole thing. Next time I have us go high cash based on market conditions, I'm just going to have us sell everything, even the stocks we really like. We can rebuy them. You can decide to hold them. But, that is the lesson I've learned from how I've had us play this BNX. But anyway, time to make all that money back that we did not make during the week of sell-offs last week. And like I said, biotechs were on fire today. The stock that really lit those ones up was PRAN on their Parkinson's slash Alzheimer's drug news. And, that's spread as well to another one, MSHL, on its ovarian cancer drug. So, we've got ASCO, we've got a couple of ASCO cancer conferences the first and second week of April, and this is about the time when these cancer biotech stocks start to pick up, and it's a very good sign when we see momentum move into biotechs. ANX beaten down over the last 2 months. This is a stock that looks like it has found a bottom here. That break of the 200-day moving average at 210 really could light this one up. We're in it small just because the volume's sort of low on it. Stops on this one I would place at today's lows, which is $2. A break through 210, and we could easily see a move up there to 220 and then 240 plus area, depending on the volume and depending on whether we get some news. RSI breaking up through 50. Stochastics about to break a downtrend line. Biotechs are hot, and this one is a very nice, attractive chart here. Now, GNVC, this is one we played quite a few times. Check out that down move this one's had over the last 6 weeks. Nice bottoming action over the last couple of days. This is a stock we jumped into in the chat room, 39 cents. I believe they closed it at 38 cents, actually. So you get to buy this one cheaper than what we did in the chat room. First target, it hit it, the 20-day exponential, but I'm thinking this is day one for these biotech stocks. And typically, when you see bios start to move like they have and you start to see big moves, these aren't one-day wonder plays whenever the momentum starts. It usually lasts a few days, and this is one that always does very, very well. Target on a break of 42 cents could be a move up there to the 50-day moving average, up there around 49 cents. RSI breaking up through 50, positive MACD cross. Stochastics looking good. They've got cash. It's beaten down. Kind of stock momentum traders really like when the action gets good in these small cap bios. Now, the stock that actually started all this biotech mania was PRAN, and as you can see, this is day 2 of its run. So if we follow our 3-day shorting strategy, we'll be keeping a very close eye on how this stock acts tomorrow. If it's up going into the close tomorrow, will definitely be a possible short play with a downside target in the 3s. Of course, it's all going to depend on how this stock acts tomorrow. Anyway, let's jump into what the new hot momentum play is right now. Oil. RAME. This is one I actually should have gotten us into a lot earlier in the day. I was asleep at the wheel, just focusing on the biotech stocks. But this one looks very, very good. If we get a break through $2 tomorrow, we could see this one definitely go on a run. LEI, our big winner from a couple of weeks ago on the last Oil Mania. Big spike on this one today. So all the old leaders of the oil move a couple of weeks ago are really starting to put in big moves right now. ROIL, let's check out that chart. Also up big today, so these stocks look very, very nice for continued momentum, and that is why I'm thinking RAME. Would love to add a dip, but we gap some of this one at $1.90 in the chat room, really, really small. And let's see how this one acts tomorrow. QBC, this was our natural gas oil play. Twice in the last 3 weeks, this one has spiked up to $1. Very, very nice setup here. 77 cents is where the short in this stock has camped out. I think this guy gets bent over and handed a Vaseline jar tomorrow if we see oil prices continue to go higher. And this is definitely a stock that should be trading up in the 80s minimum, just based on what its peers are doing. We jumped into a few of these in the chat room, and we're taking them home, into tomorrow's session. Another one to keep an eye on, DEJ. Same sort of chart, as you can see, as the other ones. Another one to keep an eye on is GSX. This would be one I would look to accumulate 44-cent area. DPTR, keep an eye on this one. This one's actually doing pretty decent in after hours trading, down sharply over the last couple of days, or our last 2 weeks since that big run. But this one got as high as $1.30, all the way back down to where it broke out the last time. Could see a very fast snapback up to the 1+ area over the next couple of days. The rare earth metal stocks woke up today. XING, this is a stock that's been on the popper scan for the last couple of days. And you remember I said in the video I did on Sunday that it looked very, very attractive. Reason I didn't buy it over the last day or so was its peers had not run. And I believe I actually mentioned that in the video. MCP, REE, SHZ took off today, which is why we jumped into this one. $1.95. After hours, this one has actually broken out. We were waiting to gap this one late in the day and buy it on a 210 break. Looks like we're not going to have that opportunity, and this one could see a really fast move back up to that 50-day moving average tomorrow. Break of the downtrend on RSI, positive MACD cross tomorrow. Stochastics look really good, and we should be having a very nice little move on this one over the next couple of days. Quick mention on PESI. You know, again, another one if I was to grade myself on how as a side note, I did say when we entered this stock that we were going to expect some downside. Ended up being more downside than I thought. But there was a rumor yesterday that they were going to be on CNBC. Stock spiked all the way back to $1.69. If you were holding the stock and you did not get out flat or with a gain, I don't know what to say. We held the stock. I mentioned in the video that we were looking for a bounce back. It came yesterday. No tears. Even though if I was to grade myself on this one, I'd give myself a D on how I had us traded as well. IPAS, very, very close to a breakout here. We're in a small position on this one. $1.59 area. Strong support at $1.50. Breakout 170, and this will be our next play to run to the 2+ area. So that's it for the video tonight. Again, going into tomorrow, really love the setups we've got on some of our oil plays. We've got some nice exposure in the chat room. If you can come into the chat room, please come into the chat room. I know there hasn't been a whole lot of emails over the last few days, but the kind of crazy speculative action we're seeing right now, they're all really fast plays, so by the time we send out an email, they've already popped, and there's really no point in sending out an email telling you to buy ABC at $1 when it's already trading at $1.10. But, you know, a couple of other oil plays to keep an eye on. Oh, I forgot to mention GMET. This one finally got a breakout today. We got our breakthrough $1.62. Continued upward momentum in the energy plays tomorrow. We could see this one pushing 180 to 2. Remember the big run we got on it last time? Volume very, very high today, so this one definitely one to keep an eye on. Any dips to the $1.60 area would look to pick up a position in it. TGC is another energy play to keep an eye on tomorrow. Tried to break out, but it was too late in the day. Again, oil up tomorrow. Oil plays up tomorrow. TGC could make a run up there back to its previous highs up there in the 140, 150 area. So we've got a lot of nice setups. If you've got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.